Hey YouTube, it's me, Alexis. I just wanted to make a quick YouTube update. I apologize, I said I was going to update like all the time. I just don't have time for it. Ooh, and I got a text message. Who are you from? Yep, okay. So I just, I just got hit on, I get hit on at the bank all the time where I work. And I just got hit on by this 33-year-old guy, and it's really disturbing. And I just want to know, like, when you older guys see a young girl like me, like, what possesses you to attempt to talk to us? Especially, I don't know, just what possesses you to talk to us? It's just my curiosity. It's kind of like I don't want wrinkly balls in my life. And no offense, I know it sounds really bad, but I just don't. It's not attractive. Anyways, so I'm starting to kind of think um, about sort of my research and where I'm going with my research, and I thought that YouTube would be a great way to utilize, the camera with the sound as a kind of recorder for myself. So I think I might make a separate little folder or whatever on this site to just kind of rant about what I'm thinking. So right now what I'm researching is Second Life. And for those of you who don't know, Second Life was created by Linden Lab on June 23rd, 2003. Yes, I have a vast memory. I remember everything. So I was looking into Second Life with a feminist approach, and honestly there's not a lot of research out there. So I'm actually going to look at Second Life as how women are portrayed on Second Life and how they are looked at as just pieces of meat. And I have some crazy experiences, but I don't think I should show them, just quite yet or share them quite yet. It's kind of inappropriate, and I'm gonna see what I find as I continue to find it. But it's interesting how every time I think about anything, I mean, even if I'm viewing a movie, like yesterday I was watching Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's one of my all-time favorite cartoon movies. Just love it. I always argue that Disney has very big capital interests, as well as misrepresents women and misrepresents people in general. It creates fairy tales that don't exist, and I know fairy tales are much desired by people, and it gives us hope and it gives us pleasure, but honestly, the way that women are portrayed on Disney and just the way Disney movies are just not realistic. And I mean, you could make fantasy without being so fantastical and sensational. But I was watching The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I thought to myself, there's these scholars, these communication scholars, who made this model, and basically what it is I forget the names of the scholars. One of the girls presented on it. It's like it's the specific theory, and I can't even remember it right now, but what it explains is, that we all have different worldviews. So it explains September 11th and Yusuf versus the judge, and how Yusuf, says, well, you guys bombed Japan, and you guys were the ones who really started the terror with Vietnam and Japan. So it's kind of interesting because we, as Americans, don't ever look at our own wrongdoings as faults, whereas a terrorist, I mean, obviously killing is wrong and immoral, and it shouldn't happen, but it's just interesting how we totally disregard what we did, the horrible things that we did, which basically were acts of terror. Terror can be defined as any sort of act that will inflict fear upon a certain group of people. So I just thought that was quite interesting, and it got me thinking about, worldviews, and how Yusuf and the judge had very different worldviews. We have our basics, our family, our friends, etc. But what made me think about The Nightmare Before Christmas was, here's Jack Skellington attempting to create Christmas, but he has this specific worldview, and when you look at it, you have all these different worlds for all the holidays, so maybe we'll never really understand or be able to formulate our lives exactly to how somebody else's is. We may be familiar with it, but we may never be able to exactly formulate and understand and comprehend to an extent that, you know, is fully comprehensible. I know this sounds kind of crazy, and I'm kind of ranting right now, but it just made me think, you know, he tried so hard to understand what Christmas was and what the concept was, and he understood the general concept of it, but he didn't understand what made Christmas so special. And just like I don't think that, you know, Santa Claus in that movie would have really understood or known why Halloween was so special. And maybe we will never be able to kind of unify, but accepting that we understand those differences and accepting the fact that, you know, we will never be those, that's what's important. So that is it. My father looks like he's, yeah. So that's just generally what I believe, what I found, and I kind of want to do an analysis of it, almost write it. But that's one of the things that was interesting that made me kind of think, and just the idea of, you know, the world and the concepts of the world and how we attempt so much to connect with one another and we attempt to understand, but attempting to comprehend that is what the most essential part of human communication is. We're driven through communication, and this is beautifully stated in Peter's book, Speaking into the Air. We are always attempting to communicate, and we're always attempting to understand, and we always want to be understood. And it's these misunderstandings that drive our communication. And I think that's the most beautiful part of any relationship that you have, any person that you meet, is that you're never going to understand their worldview. You're always going to live in a specific worldview. But when you attempt to understand it, and you attempt to see the beauty, that's what makes it beautiful, and you can appreciate it from back here, because you can never really be in there, but you can appreciate it from your viewing. And it's important to be open to any sorts of ideas, and I believe this because the more open you are to other people's ideas, the more you're going to understand your own ideas, and you're going to be able to explain and be in tune with your own ideas. So that's it. Being disturbed, and that's it. Bye.